Have you ever found yourself feeling a little frustrated when your blood pressure won't budge, no matter how carefully you watch your salt or how many walks around the block you take? It's an all too common struggle, especially after 70, when our bodies seem to have their own set of rules. The important truth is that managing blood pressure isn't just about reducing sodium or following the same generic advice we've heard for decades. There is another piece of the puzzle: adequate potassium intake. Potassium is a critical mineral that supports heart health and helps keep blood pressure in check. Yet many older adults don't realize they may need more than they're getting from their diets alone. We often talk about cutting back on salt, but rarely do we hear about the companion mineral, potassium, that helps create a healthy balance. This balance matters because, when achieved, it can help reduce risks associated with hypertension, including heart strain and compromised energy levels. Addressing this challenge can make a world of difference in daily life. Imagine having more stamina, the ability to enjoy walks without feeling winded, and the confidence that your heart is well supported. That's why it's worth exploring potassium-rich supplements under the guidance of a healthcare professional. By making sure your body has what it needs, you can help maintain healthier blood pressure levels, support your cardiovascular system, and continue doing the things you love. In just a moment, you'll discover 5 potent forms of potassium supplementation that have helped many older adults stay on top of their blood pressure goals. We'll take a close look at misconceptions that keep seniors from trying them, share real-life examples of people in their 70s and beyond who found new energy, and discuss how to approach these supplements in a safe, practical way. By the end, you'll have a clear roadmap for deciding whether these options make sense for your lifestyle. You'll see that there's no single magic pill, but with a bit of knowledge and the right approach, you can tip the scales in favor of better blood pressure management. I've spent years researching and listening to the experiences of seniors who have tried different health strategies. While I'm not a doctor, and you should always consult your own healthcare provider, I'm here to share evidence-based insights and practical tips that fit with the real-world challenges of aging. So many of us want to stay active, maintain our independence, and keep doing what we enjoy for as long as we can. Learning more about potassium could be just the ticket to feeling more in control of your blood pressure. Take a moment to think about your own experiences. Has your doctor ever mentioned how important potassium is for blood pressure regulation? This is something most of us overlook until it becomes a real concern. Stay with me as we explore 5 different potassium-rich supplements. Each option offers unique benefits, and one of them might be the missing link in your blood pressure management plan. By the end, you'll be better equipped to talk to your healthcare provider about how to make these supplements work for you. Let's dive in and uncover these possibilities. Let's start with the first option. There's a long-standing assumption that once you hit your 70s, you should avoid supplements for minerals like potassium, because your diet should ideally provide everything you need. While it's always best to get nutrients from balanced meals, many older adults face unique digestive changes that make it harder to absorb enough potassium just through food. Here's where a supplement like potassium gluconate may help. Sometimes people believe taking potassium supplements can be risky or complicated, but the misconception is thinking that a single supplement will automatically spike your potassium levels beyond safe limits. The reality is more nuanced. When used responsibly, especially with a doctor's guidance, potassium gluconate can help close the gap between what your body needs and what you get from meals. It's generally well absorbed and gentle on the stomach, which is a big plus for seniors concerned about digestive upset. Consider Irene, a 76-year-old retiree who loves tending to her rose garden. For years, Irene believed she simply needed to eat an extra banana each morning to boost her potassium levels. However, a routine check showed her blood pressure creeping upwards, and she felt more fatigued than usual. Her doctor mentioned that bananas alone might not make a big difference if her overall diet wasn't providing enough potassium. Upon further review, her physician suggested looking into a small dose of potassium gluconate. Within a couple of months, Irene noticed her blood pressure readings stabilizing, and she felt a bit more energetic during her morning gardening sessions. The lesson here is that potassium gluconate can offer a convenient and effective way to support blood pressure management, especially when combined with dietary sources like fruits, vegetables, and other nutrient-rich foods. Research indicates that maintaining a balanced potassium intake supports healthy vascular function, which basically means your blood vessels remain more relaxed, reducing the strain on your heart. If you decide to explore potassium gluconate, start by discussing it with your healthcare provider. Ask them to review your current medications, especially diuretics, as these can affect potassium levels. Also, talk about appropriate dosages because potassium supplements aren't one-size-fits-all. If your doctor approves, begin with a low-dose option and track how you feel. You might keep a small journal of your blood pressure readings over a few weeks to see if you notice a difference. Remember, improvements may be subtle at first, but gradual changes often indicate that your body is responding in a healthy way. Beyond the physical benefits of steadier blood pressure levels, the emotional aspect can be just as significant. Feeling the peace of mind that comes with stable numbers can alleviate worry, which in turn can lead to better sleep and a more positive outlook. Many older adults who add a targeted supplement like potassium gluconate say they feel a renewed sense of hope. Finally, a natural strategy that fits well into their existing routine. Speaking of routines, you might be wondering if potassium gluconate is the only option. It's not. Let's move on and explore another form, potassium citrate, which has its own unique benefits, especially for those who want to keep kidney health in check. We often assume that all forms of potassium supplements work the same way, but that's a misconception because different forms have distinct effects on the body, especially for seniors looking to support both blood pressure and other aspects of their health. Potassium citrate, for instance, is not only beneficial for blood pressure, but also helps maintain a healthy acid-base balance, which can be especially important for older adults concerned about bone health and kidney function. Take Robert, a 73-year-old outdoors enthusiast who loves fishing trips with his grandchildren. For years, he struggled with mild kidney issues. He avoided most supplements out of fear they would complicate his condition. However, after talking to his nephrologist, Robert learned that potassium citrate could be supportive in more ways than one. Since potassium citrate helps neutralize excess acid in the body, it can lighten the load on kidneys, though this is something that must be closely monitored by a healthcare professional. Robert began taking a carefully prescribed amount and noticed that not only did his blood pressure remain stable, but his doctor also reported modest improvements in his kidney function tests over time. Now, it's vital to understand that Robert's story isn't a one-size-fits-all scenario. Kidney health can vary greatly among individuals, and potassium levels must be tailored to your specific situation. Still, it's a good reminder that the one-supplement-fits-all approach doesn't really apply. Potassium citrate's chemistry can make it an excellent option for those who need a little help with urinary health and reducing the risk of kidney stones, while also keeping an eye on blood pressure goals. If you're interested in potassium citrate, the practical first step is to have a detailed conversation with your doctor. If you have kidney issues or are on medications such as ACE inhibitors or certain diuretics, your physician will likely check your blood tests to ensure the supplement is appropriate. If you get the green light, consider gradually introducing potassium citrate into your routine. Some people take it with meals to minimize any potential stomach discomfort. Emotionally, choosing a form of potassium that aligns well with your broader health goals can feel empowering. Rather than worrying about which part of your health you should prioritize, blood pressure, bone health, or kidney function, you might find a solution that addresses multiple areas at once. Knowing that a single, carefully monitored supplement can have ripple effects on your overall well-being can boost confidence and reduce the mental fatigue of juggling numerous pills. Before we continue to the next forms of potassium, take a moment to reflect on your own health journey. Which part of it would you most like to improve or protect? It's useful to write down your top 2 or 3 health priorities. Doing so will help you decide which form of potassium supplementation might be the best fit, always in consultation with your healthcare team. As you weigh your options, remember that the best solutions often come from a blend of reliable information, medical guidance, and a willingness to try something new. Let's keep exploring more potassium-rich supplements that might surprise you. Up next is potassium chloride, a form many people have heard of, but not always for the right reasons. Many seniors hear potassium chloride and think of it only as a salt substitute for cooking. This assumption can lead to the misconception that it's only meant for flavoring food or that it's somehow less effective than other forms of potassium. The truth is that potassium chloride can be a powerful ally in supporting healthy blood pressure, provided it's taken appropriately and not just sprinkled willy-nilly into meals. Let's look at Marion's experience. Marion, 80, loves to cook for her family. She was diagnosed with hypertension several years ago, and her doctor advised cutting back on table salt. Marion tried using salt substitutes that listed potassium chloride as the main ingredient. Over time, though, she discovered she didn't love the taste, so she stopped using them altogether. Her blood pressure crept up again. During a follow-up visit, her physician suggested a different approach, a potassium chloride supplement in pill form, which could give her the potassium boost she needed without relying on changing the flavor of her meals. Under her doctor's supervision, she began taking a small daily dose. Within a couple of months, her blood pressure readings were more stable, and she found a better balance in her diet without drastically altering her favorite recipes. What's compelling about Marion's story is that it shows how misconceptions can prevent us from seeing the full potential of a supplement. Potassium chloride, when taken as a controlled supplement rather than a cooking ingredient, can be a precise way to ensure you're getting enough potassium to support heart health. It's commonly recommended by healthcare providers, and you might see it in prescription-grade forms for people with significant potassium deficiencies. However, as with any supplement, caution is crucial. Potassium chloride can interact with certain blood pressure medications, like ACE inhibitors or beta blockers, so your doctor may adjust dosages or recommend additional blood tests to make sure everything stays in balance. This supplement can also be a bit harsher on the stomach for some people, which is why you'll often see instructions to take it with food or a full glass of water. If you notice any discomfort, it's important to let your doctor know right away so they can adjust your regimen. From a practical standpoint, if you're considering potassium chloride, you might start with a very low dose and see how your body responds. Another tip is to incorporate it alongside a healthy, balanced meal that includes vegetables and lean protein. Since many older adults take multiple medications, consider setting up a daily pill organizer or using a phone alarm to remind you when to take each dose. These small steps can help you gain the full benefit of potassium chloride without the pitfalls of missing doses or duplicating them. Emotionally, watching your blood pressure numbers stabilize can bring a sense of relief. It's a reminder that it's never too late to learn about new strategies or forms of supplementation that can make a meaningful difference in your life. For those of us who have battled health challenges for years, this sense of progress can reignite hope and make day-to-day living more enjoyable. We've covered 3 major forms of potassium so far, but there are still 2 more that deserve attention. Before we dive into the next option, take a moment to check in with yourself. Which forms of potassium have piqued your interest? Is there one that resonates with your lifestyle more than the others? It can be helpful to jot down your initial reactions or questions so you can bring them up with a qualified healthcare professional later. Now let's shift our focus to potassium bicarbonate, a lesser-known supplement that can play a role in balancing your body's pH levels while also helping to regulate blood pressure. One common assumption is that only those with specific health issues, like severe acid reflux, need to worry about acid-base balance in the body. The misconception is that pH levels aren't really something average seniors need to think about. However, research suggests that as we age, our body's ability to regulate acid-base balance can wane, potentially impacting bone density, muscle function, and overall energy levels. Potassium bicarbonate can help in maintaining a healthier internal pH, which indirectly supports various body systems, including circulation and blood pressure regulation. Stanley, age 77, serves as a good example. He enjoyed relatively good health but noticed increasing fatigue and stiffness, especially when climbing stairs. He assumed this was normal aging and resigned himself to taking the elevator instead. After chatting with his healthcare provider, Stanley learned that a more alkaline diet and adequate potassium intake might help him feel better overall. His doctor pointed him toward potassium bicarbonate under the condition that they would monitor his kidney function and electrolytes. Stanley started a low dose while also making small dietary shifts, fewer processed foods, more green vegetables. Within several weeks, he felt more spring in his step, and his blood pressure readings showed a modest but significant improvement. What's happening inside the body when you use potassium bicarbonate? Essentially, it helps to buffer excess acid, reducing systemic inflammation that can put added strain on blood vessels. By supporting a healthier internal environment, you're laying the groundwork for smoother blood flow and less stress on the cardiovascular system. Of course, it's not a magic wand, and results can vary, but many people find that including potassium bicarbonate in their regimen with a doctor's supervision leads to more stable energy and better overall health markers. If you're curious about potassium bicarbonate, a good first step is to understand your current acid-base status. Some doctors will run tests, or you can look at simpler indicators like the pH of your urine over several days. If you're found to be on the acidic side, your doctor might recommend dietary changes first, such as reducing meats and refined carbs while increasing fruits and vegetables. If additional support is needed, potassium bicarbonate could be introduced slowly to see how you react. On an emotional level, discovering that a small tweak in your dietary minerals can lead to feeling more energized can be a real mood lifter. It shifts the mindset from "I'm getting older and tired" to "I can adjust and thrive at any age." That psychological boost can translate into more motivation to move around, engage in social activities, and maintain a zest for living. After all, the ultimate goal is not just lower blood pressure, but a higher quality of life. We have one more potassium-rich supplement to explore. Before we tackle that, take a moment to think about the broader picture of your health. Is there an area, like mobility, digestion, or energy, where you suspect improvements might ripple out into better blood pressure control? Keep those thoughts in mind as we move forward. Many seniors assume that if they need a potassium boost, a standalone potassium supplement is the only option. This belief can be limiting. In reality, there are comprehensive multi-mineral supplements that provide potassium along with other supportive nutrients like magnesium, calcium, or even trace minerals. This multi-ingredient approach can be especially beneficial if you're dealing with several nutrient gaps at once. Consider Maggie, 79, who lives in a retirement community with a busy schedule of group activities. Maggie had been taking separate supplements, one for bone health, one for joint support, and another for general multivitamins. Tracking all those different pills became confusing. After consultation with her healthcare provider, Maggie switched to a carefully chosen multi-mineral supplement that included a moderate dose of potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Over the next few months, she found it easier to stick to her regimen, and her blood pressure levels improved slightly as well. The key here is synergy. Minerals often work together in the body. For example, magnesium supports better potassium absorption, and calcium is crucial for bone health. When you find a supplement that combines these nutrients in balanced proportions, you may see more comprehensive benefits. Still, it's important to be cautious. Just because it's called a multi doesn't mean every formula is right for everyone. Some products can have higher levels of potassium or other minerals than you need. That's why it's essential to read labels carefully and confirm with your doctor that the ratios match your individual health requirements. From a practical perspective, a multi-mineral supplement can simplify your routine, reducing pill clutter and making it easier to ensure you get the right balance of nutrients. If you worry about swallowing multiple pills each day, check if the product comes in a powder or liquid form. These can sometimes be easier on the digestive system and more convenient to take. Keep an eye on how you feel once you add a multi-mineral supplement. You might notice changes in your energy levels, sleep quality, or even how your muscles feel during exercise. These subtle shifts can indicate that you're moving closer to an overall nutrient balance, which in turn can gently support healthier blood pressure levels. Emotionally, the sense of relief that comes from streamlining your supplements is not to be underestimated. Many older adults experience frustration and confusion about which pills to take and when. Simplifying this aspect of daily life can reduce stress, enabling you to focus on the activities and relationships that matter most. More than that, seeing even small gains in health can reinforce the idea that you're in control of your aging journey rather than simply watching it happen to you. You've now seen 5 different potassium-rich supplement possibilities, each with its own distinct advantages and considerations. Potassium gluconate, potassium citrate, potassium chloride, potassium bicarbonate, and multi-mineral supplements containing potassium. All five can play a role in supporting healthy blood pressure, but the best choice depends on your individual needs, your current health status, and the advice of a trusted medical professional. If you have a moment, I'd love to know which of these options stands out the most to you. Feel free to note it down and bring it up at your next doctor's appointment. You've heard a variety of stories, some focused on kidney health, others on acid-base balance, and still others on simplifying daily routines. Each story underscores a theme. Taking a thoughtful approach to potassium supplementation can be an empowering step toward better blood pressure management after 70. Remember, it's not just about the numbers on a blood pressure monitor. It's also about how you feel in your day-to-day life. Whether you can garden without feeling exhausted, enjoy a family gathering without being too stressed about your readings, or simply wake up and look forward to the day ahead. Let's bring everything together. You've discovered how potassium supplementation, in its various forms, can be a game changer for regulating blood pressure after 70. Whether it's the gentle action of potassium gluconate, the versatile nature of potassium citrate, the precision of potassium chloride, the balancing qualities of potassium bicarbonate, or the convenience of a multi-mineral supplement, each offers potential benefits when used wisely. The urgency here isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to remind you that every day you go without addressing your body's changing nutrient needs can be a day of missed opportunity. High blood pressure doesn't usually strike in one dramatic moment. It creeps up over time, chipping away at your energy and well-being. By being proactive now, you set the stage for better days ahead, a chance to hold on to the independence, mobility, and peace of mind that make life fulfilling. Imagine how it would feel to wake up and not immediately worry about your blood pressure reading. Picture yourself with a bit more energy, maybe enough to start a new hobby or spend more quality time with friends and family. These supplements are just one piece of the puzzle, alongside a balanced diet, regular checkups, and perhaps some gentle exercise. But they can be the missing piece that helps bring everything into alignment. If you're ready for the next steps, here are a few suggestions. First, jot down which potassium-rich supplement felt most aligned with your needs, or if you're drawn to more than one, note them all. Second, schedule a conversation with your healthcare provider specifically about your potassium levels. Share your current medications, any kidney or heart concerns, and get clarity on the right dosage if potassium supplementation is advised. Third, consider tracking your blood pressure readings more diligently for a month. That data, along with how you feel daily, can guide any adjustments you might need to make. To support your journey, consider joining a local or online community where seniors share their experiences with healthy living. Even just reading about how others manage their blood pressure can provide fresh ideas and a sense of camaraderie. And if you're already on a good path, share your successes. You never know who you might inspire. Perhaps a neighbor or a family member will realize they too can benefit from a more deliberate approach to potassium and overall wellness. At the end of the day, remember that you are in the driver's seat of your health. Yes, we all face challenges as we age, but our actions and choices continue to matter. By learning about potassium supplementation and discussing it with knowledgeable professionals, you're taking a big step toward living life on your terms, with energy and confidence. So here's to you, your health, your resilience, and your ability to keep living a life you love, one informed choice at a time.